Hey, welcome back to the bonus round here on GT. I'm Jeff Keighley, and we are getting closer and closer to E3. And of course, as always, we will have blowout live coverage for you guys, both on TV on Spike and here on GT. I'm here with Tina from Kotaku and Jeff from Giant Bomb. As we lead into the show, let's talk about the big games that you guys are excited about. We're getting out of the silos of each first-party system. Tina, what's the game leading into the show that you cannot wait to play?
Well, it would be great if it was The Last Guardian, like we were talking about earlier.
Okay.
I don't have any faith for it, but it is one of the more exciting ones. I mean, I think new IPs are always great. Everything else feels a little bit stagnant. You know, we're seeing the same things. Here's a new feature and so on. But for the most part, everything that we are going to see is almost like new iteration.
Right.
The next-gen version of, which could be exciting. We never know because we're still getting into this whole next-gen feel.
Okay. So Last Guardian, what about a game that's announced?
That's
really
actually
gonna be
coming out?
I don't know. Maybe there, who knows?
Yeah. Well, I think that there's been a lot of excitement amongst Kotaku readers for Middle-earth, Shadows of Mordor. Okay. And I'm sort of a Lord of the Rings fan, so I think that it's going to be exciting. It seems cool with the whole open-world atmosphere. Mm-hmm. So, and they've talked a lot about how you can change the way that the story is progressing, and every person's story will be a little bit different. And I'm a fan of like watching an episode of a show and then discussing different interpretations of it with people afterwards. And I think that has a potential for that.
Cool. So. All right, Jeff, picks?
Well,
Dive Kick 2?
Yeah, that's right. Dive Kick 2 is going to be very big. No, it's the game I'm actually really excited about seeing is not announced yet. But, if you'd asked me like a couple of months ago, I would have figured that Fallout 4 would have been a lock.
What a tease, Jeff. But maybe by the time it airs, it will have been announced.
Yeah, maybe it will have been announced. Like, I just don't understand what's going on.
But you've been briefed on this game.
Clearly, I've not been officially briefed on this game.
You just hear rumors of this game.
I mean, I've heard plenty of stuff from plenty of people that make it sound like it's a game. Those guys have to be working on something.
Teases on Twitter.
But you would assume that that would be the natural next step for that team anyway. Would be to make that game. Okay. But I want to say there was some quote from Pete Hines or something like, "We're not announcing that game anytime soon." By the way. Right. So now it's like I don't know. Like that to me seemed like it would be a lock for. Something that you would have revealed last year or something like that. And then when that didn't happen, I'm like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? I was like, well, is that going to be a Game Informer cover? And it hasn't been a Game Informer cover yet. So it's like, okay, did someone lock it up for a press conference? I don't know. Right. So, maybe they really are going to wait. Maybe they're just like giving Elder Scrolls Online this wide berth to
Well, I think the thing that I can tell you from my experience is like a lot of these companies I think are shortening the windows, right? And you look at like, I think actually at E3 this year, I know there are going to be a couple games announced that are going to come out like this fall. Right. Which haven't even been announced yet, and that's sort of unheard of that you're going to announce a game in June and ship it, conceivably October, November.
Like there was that EA earnings call where they're like, by the way, we've got a Battlefield game shipping this fall.
Right. Yeah. So it's like
there's that whole thing, which sounds potentially interesting, but also a really weird thing to put the Battlefield name on.
I don't know, but it's like it sounds like there's a bunch of stuff that people are not talking about. So that's the thing is there could be some surprises for the holidays.
But here's my dark horse. You want dark horse, man?
Yes.
Crackdown 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's sort of what's teased. I think that they might.
It's one of those things that like anytime you ask Phil Spencer about Crackdown 3, he's like, I don't know, that sure be cool. Right. Well, that's a bad Phil Spencer impression, but you get what I'm saying. I feel like that's something they will try to make at some point. Yeah. And this seems like a good spot for them to announce it.
So that's a lot of speculative stuff, but for you, like what you want to put your hands on when you walk into E3.
What I want to put my hands on when I walk into E3, it's. There's the one game that hasn't been announced yet, and I really want to see. There's
gonna be a huge threads online about what could Jeff's mystery game be.
But it's I hope No Man's Sky is there in a meaningful capacity because checking that out right around the time that you broke it, kind of saw it a couple days before that, and was like, wow, this is amazing. So I want to see what that has turned into in between floods.
Yeah, the guys at Hello Games are, I think, working on some great stuff for E3, and they are an amazing team.
So I'd really love to see what that's about.
All right, guys, hold that thought for a second. We're going to be right back here on the bonus round.